Hello, back in the secret field, ready to have another go with the iFlight Green Hornet. Had a go around the garden to see it could manoeuvre slowly, hopefully get a little bit more speed, a little bit more space here. If you're wondering where's the GoPro that should be at the front, I'm holding it. I will be flying with a GoPro Black 7 using Hypersmooth, just to see if we can get sort of smooth footage. Obviously there's not much to look at here, so I thought what I'd do is I'd treat it as if I wanted to sort of one thing I love doing is going sort of low to the grass, see if I can do some nice swooping manoeuvres with this, see if I can get it nice and smooth, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how it performs. Let's go for it.
Right then, let's get this thing in the air and see how it does. Obviously the GoPro 7 is the great big HD footage, and I've put the DVR footage in the corner there because I wanted to show a whole bunch of things about this. First off is, this is the Caddx EOS 2. One of the reddest cameras I can think of, and this is like a functional FPV camera. They tended to show up in toothpicks a lot, and sort of, you know, it's okay, you get away with it there. This really needs a better camera. They do the Bumblebee, which is like $100 more, but it's got the Caddx Ratel in it, which is a far better camera, so this really needs swapping out. Now the reason I was going down here is to take a look at that sort of old farm building, but you can see link quality popping up, and you can see the VTX is quite bad, and then over here I get a signal loss completely just for a second. It's a bit weird, the RSSI is jumping about all over the place, and this radio using another quad with the same type of receiver got all the way over to the other side of the field in a flight I did earlier this same day, so I don't know what's up with this. Perhaps it's about the antenna connections. So what I did, I came back down after flying that a bit more, and I put the VTX power up to 200 milliwatts because it was looking quite horrible. 200's a bit better, it's still a bit grainy, a bit noisy, and obviously it's completely red. You can just see the difference between the GoPro colour and the EOS 2 colour. It's kind of ridiculous. You can see in the DVR footage that we're having some wobbles, and as we come down here, oh my god, this thing hated doing a descent. You can see it wobbling around. If you can just hear the noise, I left a little bit of the GoPro sound on, you can hear the props struggling. The Hypersmooth is doing an excellent job of turning what is quite ropey footage into quite nice stuff, and you can see we can turn out some nice smooth movements, kind of what I talked about earlier, sort of going around a field, swooping down low, making things quite smooth. It's kind of, if you keep it nice and slow and gentle, it does a good job. If you try and go fast in this thing, it just doesn't happen. It really does feel very, very sluggish. Obviously it's got massive ducks, and even on a day when it's not particularly windy, it sort of feels like there's so much air resistance, it just won't go fast at all. It's a bit like flying a breeze block around, in all honesty. And the reason I wanted to keep this DVR footage here is another complaint on the camera is about the light handling. Another thing I thought it'd be nice to do is sort of fly underneath the tree cover about where I am, and this includes sort of going in and out of the shadows. So the EOS 2 does an okay job when it's got the light, but take a look at what happens when I decide to fly under the tree branches here into the shadows, because really I really did struggle to see what on earth I was doing and where on earth I was going. And helpfully enough, the DVR footage doesn't show quite as bad as it is, but the level of noise I felt I had in my goggles was really unacceptable. I felt this was really difficult, really hard to pick stuff out. And that link quality just keeps flashing all the time. Again though, the resulting GoPro footage I'm pretty happy with. It's just the rest of the flying less happy with, let's put it that way, and the way this thing handled. I think if you're going to put this much money into something like this, you'd really not want to cheap out on the camera. I've no idea why the Bumblebee is so much more expensive, because aside from some minor things, the camera seems to be the major thing, and of course this camera is about $30–40 I think, to put something like the Ratel in there, which is a really nice camera, and certainly the one I would go for. Yeah, but aside from that, it's okay. I mean, it was horrendously noisy. It sounded like it was right in front of me when it was like 100 metres away. As you can see, the battery's lasting okay. I think this was on an 1800 on this second flight, which gets a good 4 minutes of just, gently swishing around. But I had a bit more battery, but I'd had enough of the link quality flashing up, and certainly the noise was horrendous.
Well, just did a few batteries, and it seemed like the words link quality are almost etched into my goggles now. I'm not sure if this is because when you plumb these little antenna covers here, they sort of push the antenna back, and I'm wondering if the active element's getting a little bit damaged there and given a really bad range, because we weren't able to get very far. But on another XM Plus that I've got here today, it was fine, like 90% over the other side of the field. Also coming out, these motors are pretty hot, almost too much to touch. It's running really hotter than it should do. I don't know if that's down to the tune or just the fact these were working so hard to push this through the air on this config. We'll have to have a look, because certainly as it is, it's not flying optimally.
Okay, so after that flight, we're left with a couple of actions. Now, in terms of the motor heat, rather than looking at what was going on, I thought I'd send a note to iFlight and say, hey, I've got some motor heat here. What do you think it is? And they sent me back a dump from their Betaflight of what it should be. And when I compared it to mine, I noticed some slight differences, one of which is in the notch filter. So I thought I'd put this on and try it again. Now, I hadn't changed anything, and there was also a slight change in the PID. I changed the rates, but the PID was the same, so that was interesting. I thought I'll try that again and I'll see what happens. They also said if it's still a problem, send us the black box log. So I cleared the black box, ready to do that. So that's one thing to retest for. Now, the other thing was the signal. I was using this radio, and one thing I did notice if you've been watching the reviews of this, I had to tune the frequency to get a better signal on FreeSky, and I'd forgot to copy that across to this model. So that could be one reason, but equally I was flying the sector 132 in that field all the way over the other side with good RSSI, and I'd forgot to copy across that frequency tune as well. So there's a couple of actions I'll do there. First off is I'll try it again with the frequency tune to see how it is. The second thing I thought I'd do and have checked is just if I take these out, I was worried about maybe I'd squash down the active element, but that seems absolutely fine. So if I still can't get a good signal, what I would intend to do is take the end of this off, pull this through, and then fly it with both ends like this. So obviously we've got much higher, we're not blocking as much, to see if that works. Sometimes you can just have a duff receiver, of course. There's no particular reason there's anything else in this stopping the signal, but you can get duff receivers. So I will try those things out next time. So we've got a bit more flying to do on this one yet. As soon as I get it, so I'm happy with it, I obviously want to do some different things with it, like take it through the trees, because this will just bounce off stuff and not do anything. But anyway, that'll be coming up hopefully soon. Join me next time. Hope that's been helpful for now, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye! Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.